Well, there you are, ghoulies. Things are really heating up here on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Temperature's rising, the waters are running down, and, well, we're cruising right through summer, which means we're getting ever closer to the Halloween season.
We are indeed.
And everybody else out there that loves Halloween is thinking about the same thing, aren't they?
What's that?
It's Halloween's coming.
Oh, well, yes,
Let's get this hot weather out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not too enjoyable.
We don't want the sunlight. Let's move on to Halloween and darkness and all that dreary, wonderful weather.
Well, actually, it's very colorful sometimes.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the leaves changing and the color and the orange and the greens.
Just because it's dreary doesn't mean it can't be colorful.
Dreary can be beautiful, as we prove here on Crimson Theater. We've got a great movie tonight, Tales from the Crypt. No, I'm not talking about the puppet creep keeper,
No.
whatever that guy is. No, not talking about him. I'm talking about Joan Collins, yeah. Peter Cushing.
Yes.
And a whole lot of other really interesting actors that make this one up.
Yeah, this is quite a menagerie.
Well, it's it's one of those anthology tales.
Yes.
And we love those. It's one of the original ones. And, of course, a lot of different stories, basically. Good intro, too. Interesting soundtrack music in the beginning of this one. Sounds very familiar to me. I just can't place it. Anyway, great movie for the Crimson Theater, a classic. Had them lined up around the block at the Roosevelt Theater, of course. Yeah, this was a big deal. It was scary back then, too, even though some of the effects might seem hokey by today's standards. The acting is what conveyed the true horror of tonight's feature.
And they do a good job with that.
We've got a big show coming up, Big Bash at the Port on August 5th.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Or is it the 6th? It's the 6th.
The 6th.
Okay. We'll just check that. The first Saturday in August. August already. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Sweet Corn Festival coming up at Jerry Smith's the 12th and 13th. Oh, wow.
That's soon. Oh, my goodness.
I know. And before you know it, it's going to be September just like that, and we'll be rolling into the Halloween season. And we're going to have some special contests and prizes for Halloween.
It's going to be exciting.
We'll tie that in with the Big Top radio broadcast. But without further ado, let's get right into it now. Tales from the Crypt on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
stay as close as you can, please. In the reign of Henry VIII, when the monasteries in England were dissolved and the occupants tortured, beheaded in public or murdered secretly, some went into hiding to worship as they pleased. It is the decaying bodies and skeletons of these religious martyrs that you will see on your tour. These catacombs are dangerous, and I must warn you to stay with me and not lose your way. Please keep close together.
My brooch.
Hmm?
I must have dropped it somewhere. Thank you.
Well, which way shall we go?
Well, it's a toss-up. Let's try this way.
Dead end.
Sorry, wrong guess.
Well, there's no way out of here. Let's go back.
There's no way out there.
Who are you?
Where did you come from?
All in good time.
Look, how do we get out of here?
All in good time.
I'm in a hurry.
It can wait.
Well, I really can't wait. I have an appointment.
Sit. All of you. Please sit down. Sit down. I assure you I have a purpose.
What purpose?
Why did you come in here?
I don't know. I was just driving by and something made me.
And what are your plans when you leave here?
Plans?
Plans.
To Joanne, the best wife in the world. Love from Richard. And a big kiss.
Merry Christmas.
Mummy! Mummy!
Just a minute, darling. Mommy will be right up.
Mummy!
I'm coming, Carol. Carol, darling, what's the matter?
Has Santa come yet?
No, darling, not yet. You be a good girl and go on to
Can I
sleep.
see him when he comes?
Well, we'll see. Now, you be a good girl and go to sleep, otherwise Santa won't come.
What's this?
Nothing. It's just a Christmas card from Daddy. All right? Good night.
Good night, Mummy. Night, Daddy.
We interrupt this program for a special announcement. A man described as a homicidal maniac has escaped from the hospital for the criminally insane. He is 6 foot 3 inches tall, 210 pounds, dark eyes, bald, and may be wearing a Santa Claus costume taken from a shop in Burley. All residents of the county are warned to be on the lookout for this man and to phone the police if they see him. We now continue our program of carols for Christmas Eve.
nonsense. I have no
Hadn't you? And you?
I'm on my way home to see my wife and children.
And then?
Hmm?
And then? And then?
Well, I'm all set.
Must you go tonight, Carl? Can't you leave it till the morning?
No, I'm afraid I can't. My appointment's in the morning. I'll have to drive all night to make it.
When will you be back?
I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. I'll phone you.
Did you say goodnight to the kids?
No, I was just going to.
Good night, Daddy.
Goodbye, darling.
Don't forget to ring me when you get there.
I will. Goodbye, darling.
Bye. Drive carefully.
Yes, right.
The removal men came this morning.
Yeah, well, so I see.
Should all be there by the time we get there.
Yeah.
Shame to give up a nice flat like this.
Yes, I know that, darling. But we've both had to give up quite a bit, haven't we? I love you, Susan. You know that, don't you?
Yes, of course I do.
You meet someone and suddenly that's it. I kiss my kids tonight and... Oh, for hell's sake. I mean, it will be worth it, won't it, for both of us?
Of course it will. You are tired. Let me drive.
Yeah, okay. sorry. Bad dream.
Look out! Susan. Susan, where are you? Crazy fool! Do you want to get yourself killed?
Darling.
What's the matter then? Look, pull yourself together. What's the matter? Come on now.
Yes?
Susan,
Who is it?
it's me, Carl.
Carl? It can't be.
Can't be? What do you mean?
Carl was...
Where have you been?
Please go away.
Look, I've been worried out of my mind. What's happened? The furniture. I don't understand. How did...
I brought it back. After the crash.
Huh?
And I was blinded.
Blinded?
And Carl was killed.
Huh?
2 years ago.
I'm sorry. Bad dream.
So that is why you were in a hurry? To leave your wife and children?
What do you mean? How do you... Who are you?
I assure you I have a purpose.
What sort of game are you playing?
Game?
You're trying to frighten us in some way. What do you want?
To show you something. Something in your own mind. Something you are capable of doing.
I don't want to know.
Oh, but you must know. You must.
Theodore Punchstone. He's very nice, isn't he? Now, I know some of you have to get home rather soon, so there's your little present, my dear. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Grimsdyke.
That's all right. Now, shall I tell you something? My wife's name is Helen. Mary Helen Grimsdyke. I always call her Helen. It's a nice name, isn't it? Bye-bye, then.
Come on, Mark. Come on, Julie.
Come sit here. Bye-bye, Mark. Bye-bye, Julie. Two little dicky birds sitting on a wall. One named Peter, one named Paul. Fly away, Peter. Fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter. Come back, Paul. That's it. You think you could do that?
What are you looking at?
Grimsdyke, of course. His usual shell out to the kids. He does it every year on his birthday. I don't know how you stand it.
Stand what?
Living across the road from that man. He's a rubbish collector, a dustman. Place is an eyesore. The toys he gives those kids, he finds in the rubbish heap and repairs. Why doesn't he sell out?
I've made him offers. He's sentimental about that old dump. Says he and his wife lived there for their whole married life, and now he wants to die there. Just as she did.
Well, it ruins the neighborhood and depreciates the value of our property. The inside must be like a pigsty.
He owns the place free and clear. There's nothing we can do about it.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Shut the gate. Bye-bye.
Isn't there?
What on earth have you been doing?
Somebody's just made an awful mess of Mr. Baker's garden. Poor Grimsdyke's neighbor. He was so proud of his prize roses.
My prize roses. Years of hard work. It's Grimsdyke's dogs for sure. This is too much. I'd like to make an official complaint.
But you mustn't take them away. They're my friends. Sergeant,
Please. It's a court order, and they don't have licenses.
Well, I couldn't afford licenses. Sergeant, please. Darling? Darling? Are you there, darling? Are you there, darling? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is there anything you wish to tell me? Oh. Give me the message. Who to? Is it one of the children? Who to?
Well, just think it over, Councillor Ramsey.
Grimsdyke's due to retire in 2 years. He's done his job well. There's no reason why the town council
He's too old. Don't you think a younger man?
He'd lose his retirement pay.
And save the town some money.
Poor old Grimsdyke.
I tell you there, it's pretty creepy here on Crimson Theater tonight.
Ooh, it always is creepy, but this one's especially.
Joan Collins is kind of creepy. Kind of hot,
yeah.
but creepy.
Yeah, she's creepy hot. I like it. It's my favorite type.
Yeah, there you go. We've got it all in tonight's feature, and coming up is the probably the most remembered storyline out of this movie. Is the Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing, the old man that gets tormented by a neighbor. Not that neighbors ever torment other neighbors, do they? Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, right. Anyway, pretty cool. Brings Valentine's Day into play in this one, this is kind of interesting for a horror movie. I mean, it already had Christmas involved, and this one has Valentine's Day involved.
I've always found both of those holidays horrifying.
They are horrifying.
So I think they're doing a great job.
Reminds me of that old kids game called Mystery Date. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah. Kinda, yeah, I can see
Isn't that something else?
Oh,
have young pre-teen girls playing the Mystery Date. And then sometimes he'd be, I guess, a hunk, and sometimes he'd be a clunk.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for a show.
Depending on the change in fashions, it might have went back and forth a couple of times.
Ooh, true.
You know? I mean, really, come on now. Either you got a young man that maybe looked like he was in a 60s band, you know, at the time, or you got a young man back then that looked like a hipster, and the girls went, yuck!
Exactly.
Oh, what a game, huh?
Yeah, I wish, if it wasn't for wonderful shows like that 70s show, I don't think my generation would even know about it.
Right, I think that is. Did they ever bring in the dating game?
Oh, I've heard, yeah, I think they did.
The dating game, the poor subject, male or female, wouldn't be able to see the three dates, and they would merely make their decision by the questions that were answered by the dates.
That's horrifying.
You could do a version of that here on Crimson Theater.
We should. That would be fun.
You know, get some innocent prospects and then scoop up some dates from downtown Kenosha.
Yeah, there you go.
If the dates don't scoop you up first in their white van with the ladder.
Right?
Yeah, you
Be
better
careful out there.
be careful everywhere. There's nowhere safe anymore.
No.
You're safe at home watching Crimson Theater, most likely, though. Exactly. So. All right, get right into it. This is a riveting little passage here with Peter Cushing. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give it away, but it's awesome. Get right to it.
I do believe he's out of a job.
Flowers a little wilted, aren't they, my dear? God bless you. Plenty more in the garden. I'll get you some tomorrow. Oh! Oh, Jamie! Jamie, my little Jamie! Oh, I wondered where you were. Oh, I'm so glad they didn't get you. Welcome home. Oh, better save money now, hadn't we? Hey, look, Helen, look who's come back. Our little Jamie. Oh, that's wonderful. You're our only friend, huh? You and the children?
We thought it might be neighborly to let you know what was going on.
It's very kind of you to draw our attention to this, Mr. Elliot. It's so difficult to know what one's children get up to when they're out of one's sight. After all, last year, I remember...
You can tell from looking at his house what a filthy old man he is. Constantly filling it with children. Heaven knows what his motivations are.
Now, don't forget what I said. Just stay away from him.
But, Mummy, he's such a nice old man.
Don't argue with me. You're not to see him again, ever.
Why don't you go and play in our garden? And don't take any more sweets from him. Carrying rubbish all day? His house must be filthy. You and your Mr. Grimsdyke. Now remember, I don't want you to go anywhere near him.
Oh, Mom.
And that's final.
I don't understand it. Everyone was so kind. Now there's no work, no children, no one to make toys for. Oh, never mind. We've always got each other, haven't we, my dear? That's all that matters.
Just one more turn of the screw. And he'll sell his property for next to nothing.
What's on your mind?
Valentine's Day. It's just 2 weeks away.
So?
We'll send him valentines. From everyone in town.
Lots of mail for you today, Mr. Grimsdyke.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Oh, very kind. My dear. Oh, it's not even Christmas, is it? Not that it makes any difference if it is or not. I wouldn't be writing to it. Let's see now. It's a Valentine card. You're my only sweetheart. Will this be? Noisy are children, loud is a bell, pungent is perfume, but you only smell. Hmm? Noisy are children, loud is a bell, pungent is perfume, but you only smell. I don't think I like that. Let's see what we have here. A tree is beautiful if its owner prunes it, but our town isn't, because your presence ruins it. Oh. Some people live in the country. Some people live in the town. Why don't you do us a service? Jump in the river.
What's Grimsdyke been doing to that mongrel? He hasn't stopped whining for a week.
You know, come to think of it, I haven't seen Grimsdyke for days. Not since Valentine's Day.
Can't be far away if the door's open. The place is spotless. I thought it was filthy.
But the merciful goodness of the Lord endureth for ever and ever upon them that fear him, and his righteousness upon his children's children. Forasmuch as it hath pleased Almighty God of his great mercy to take unto himself the soul of our dear brother, Arthur Edward Grimsdyke, here departed. We therefore commit his body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In sure and certain hope of the resurrection to eternal life through our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall change
It
our
was
vile
kind of
body
you to pay for the burial.
into his glorious
It was the least I could do.
according to the almighty
He
word
was a
whereby
neighbor.
he is able to subdue all things to himself.
What's that?
Valentine's cards. The ones left over from last year. When?
She must be a year ago.
Today. St. Valentine's Day, February the 14th. A year ago exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm going to bed. See you in the morning. Night. Night.
You were mean and cruel right from the start. Now you really have no...
It's true. I don't like Grimsdyke.
What am I doing here?
You'll see.
Well, that's it, Ralph, I'm afraid. It's all gone.
Everything.
More than everything. You have debts. I did warn you, didn't I, not to use money that had been entrusted to you. The risks were far too great.
Risks? The gains could have been enormous. What do I do now?
Well, you have two choices. First, bankruptcy.
And according to you, that would be dishonorable, wouldn't it?
Now, come on, let's face it. You've done dishonorable things in your life before, in your business life.
Hard, ruthless, and perhaps even cruel. Yes, to build up the Jason Empire, sometimes I had to be.
No one has to be.
I did. Oh, it's easy to talk, but I had to fight my way up the hard way. If people got hurt, they got hurt. But I always paid my debts. No, I'm not going into bankruptcy.
Well, if you intend to try and pay off your debts, you'll have to start selling things. Things of value. Properties, your paintings, everything.
My house. All the beautiful things I've acquired during...
Oh, well, Ghoulies, it's kind of been a sad week in horror. We got a double dose of reality upon the passing of George Romero and Martin Landau. And, of course, George Romero pioneered the zombie films, which he called them ghouls in his movie.
Yes, he was the father of the modern zombie industry. He truly is. We wouldn't have things like The Walking Dead if it wasn't for the mind of George Romero and all that he created with his universe. So it's truly a loss there. And Martin Landau, he's grandfathered into the horror family. He played Bela.
Well, yeah, Martin Landau did a great job, won an Oscar for playing Bela Lugosi in Ed Wood, which is finally getting a little bit of recognition, unfortunately, due to Landau's death. Many people never saw the movie Ed Wood, even some of the most hardcore Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, or Johnny Depp, Tim Burton collaboration fans out there.
They managed to miss that.
I don't know, it didn't play Kenosha, of course.
I don't think it played a lot of places. It's one of those that just... a lot of
Well, it
people
was a
miss
smaller film, but wow.
It's definitely quality.
I don't see how anybody that, even if they didn't know what the story was about, that watched it wouldn't have fun watching that movie.
It's a fun movie, it's an informative movie, and you can really get a lot of inspiration to learn about a lot of interesting people from it, too.
And of course, Martin Landau, a little bit of makeup by Rick Baker to make him look more like Bela Lugosi, because Martin Landau has that very thick upper lip. They had to make that look skinnier, like Bela Lugosi's, of course, the cleft in the chin and the ears, and a lot of good lighting and makeup to really pull it off.
And that performance.
And the performance is what really did it. Anybody can wear a costume, but it takes a great actor like Martin Landau, who really had a lot of good things to say about Bela and about how he felt bad about Bela, not being able to do the kind of things that he really could have done. And I think some of the scenes that Tim Burton did in Ed Wood shows what Bela Lugosi could have done. I think he wrote in certain parts to make it look like, look, here's what you could have done with Bela Lugosi, but you didn't. You didn't give the man a chance. The last big studio gig he had was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and the studio was already kind of being shilly-shally about whether they wanted him for that And obviously, you can't. Bela Lugosi is a big reason that movie was a success. I mean, Abbott and Costello were popular, but by that time they were kind of going down a little bit. It was at the end of their careers, and everybody was more than excited to see the Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula all in a movie together. That had been done in House of Frankenstein, but of course, John Carradine played Dracula, which wasn't so convincing, and he didn't really interact with the other monsters.
No.
So by the time we get to Abbott and Costello, we've got Bela in there with Lon Chaney and Glenn Strange, even though Glenn Strange kind of had become the new symbol of Frankenstein. But it was cool, and it really made that movie what it is.
So you can really tell from Martin Landau's portrayal of Bela that he really was a true fan.
Oh, definitely. He totally understood.
Yes.
Martin Landau did some really great things, like, Cleopatra and North by Northwest, and he was in a lot of major productions and some smaller ones. So I think he really understood what that was like completely.
Yeah.
Both George Romero and Martin Landau will be sadly missed by Crimson Theater. Now back to the movie.
It's the only way.
I won't do it.
I'm afraid you'll have to.
So there's nothing else for it. We have to sell them. Oh, I know it's a blow. Our whole life's in them. Everything we've collected all over the world.
I remember that one. We got it in that strange shop in Hong Kong when you were selling guns too. Do you remember what the little man in the shop said to us when he sold it to us?
Yes. Use it wisely. I wonder what he meant by that.
Ralph, have you ever seen this writing that's inscribed on the bottom of this statuette?
Writing?
Yes, here at the base.
3 wishes I give, and no more, to each owner of me, so keep score. Each wish will come true, so take care what you do. I can't read the rest, but the last word is deplore.
What does it all mean?
Use it wisely.
If only it could give us 3 wishes.
That's storybook nonsense. It reminds me of a tale I once read. What was it?
We could pay all our debts.
The Monkey's Paw, that's what it was.
I wish.
I read it when I was at school.
I wish for lots and lots of money.
Oh, no.
Too late, I already have.
And I've just remembered what happened at the end of the story.
Well, you said yourself it was just a story. Like our 3 wishes.
Hello? Oh, hello, Charles.
I'd like you to come down to my office.
What, right now?
Yes, straight away.
What's it all about?
It's very important.
It's about money. I'd like you to come straight away.
I'll be right there. That's Charles. He wants me to go and see him right away. He said something about money.
Money? Maybe our wish will come true after all.
Yes, speaking.
I'm sorry to tell you, sir, but your client, Ralph Jason, has been killed in a car crash.
In his car?
Yes, on a road about 10 miles from his home.
Well, have you told Enid, Mrs. Jason, yet?
No, not yet. We found some letters from you in his pocket. They indicate that you're not only his solicitor, but a close friend of the family. We thought it better that you break the news.
Yes. Yes, of course. Leave it to me. I'll tell her.
Ralph? Dead?
They found him in the wreckage of his car. He'd obviously lost control, skidded. Enid, this may not be the best moment to talk about this, but it may alleviate some of your other worries. You realize this accident makes you a rich woman.
Rich?
Ralph's insurance. He always carried a large policy with a double indemnity against accident.
Charles, I wished for lots and lots of money. Ralph warned me not to.
No, that's a coincidence.
No,
surely.
it's no coincidence. That statuette. It gave us 3 wishes. I used one of them to wish for lots and lots of money. Now, I'm going to wish for Ralph back. Charles, do you know the story of the monkey's paw?
That's the story of the old couple who are given a monkey's paw, which entitles them to 3 wishes. They wish for money, and they get the money because their son is killed in a machine in his factory, crushed. Enid, you mustn't wish Ralph back.
Why not?
Well, in the story, this mother wishes her son back, and he does come back, but in the condition in which he died, mutilated, mangled, torn.
Be careful not to make the same mistake. I shall wish that Ralph were back as he was before the accident. I wish Ralph were back exactly as he was immediately before the accident. Open it. Quickly.
No, don't look. His body was mangled in the crash.
Mangled? It wasn't mangled. Mr. Jason died of a heart attack at the wheel.
As he was immediately before the accident. But he was already dead. Dead from a heart attack, so the accident didn't kill him.
I tell you, Ghoulies, that was pretty awesome, that Peter Cushing sequence. All of these are really are pretty great. And what a great movie.
It's a wonderful film. Very creepy, very eerie. It's got the fun holiday aspect. I love it.
It's interesting with the anthology how they can make a lot of shorts can tell a story, a full-length movie can tell a story, and then you have something like a soap opera like Dark Shadows that has forever to tell a story.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, if you want to live with the characters day by day.
It's all just a different way of experiencing the story.
I guess so. And if you haven't heard, we are on AM 1050 WLIP, midnight to 4 a.m., Monday through Friday, doing overnight radio.
That's right.
You want to talk about the sheer horror of something.
No, it's a wonderful thing.
Oh, it's a wonderful show, but I mean,
is.
it's just amazing to be there every night. Lots of crazy guests.
Oh, indeed. Lots of crazy subjects, always something different and unique.
Yep, so you can tune in at AM 1050 WLIP, midnight to 4 a.m., or you can listen at WLIP.com. Check that radio show out. And, you know, we got to plug the radio show because we plug the TV show so much on the radio show. So, hand in hand.
Fair is fair, yeah.
I guess fair is fair. Interesting. I never thought I'd be broadcasting 5 days a week overnight.
No.
Big surprise. And lots of wrestling information from your Lilith Lovecraft's Pro Wrestling Report.
It gets crazier and crazier.
It does get crazier and crazier. All these new wrestling stars I'm learning about.
Yeah, well, crazy news happening.
Yeah. Is Paige out of her trouble yet?
Paige is still in trouble. She's having all sorts of legal problems, and Shane McMahon just survived a helicopter crash. It's a crazy world.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Or was that hell?
No, I actually saw it while I was leaving my house.
I don't know. You sure it ain't helicopter crash entertainment?
No, it was on the news, and they didn't say who was in the helicopter, and then I got a little...
I don't think I want to ride in a helicopter.
No, I don't think I would.
Those things just don't seem quite thought out yet enough. Just that thought of being suspended by a single shaft of metal hovering over the sky.
It scares me a little bit.
A little bit.
True fear confessions on Crimson Theater.
Well, true fear I'd like to some true confessions on Crimson Theater. Ralph, you want to come out here and confess? I think that'd be an interesting show. You know, you don't have to go to church to confess. Come here and do it on Crimson Theater, where it can be true confession entertainment. Yes.
Can we record that? I got that.
We'll start with Lilith. Confess your sins.
Oh, I have far too many. Starting with my shelf
start
of
with the
heads.
beginning. Yes, your shelf of heads there seems to be getting bigger and bigger. All right, ghoulies, let's get right back into the exciting conclusion of Tales from the Crypt.
Only one more wish.
Enid.
Please go away. Leave me alone. I want to be alone with him, please. Only one more wish. Only one. I mustn't waste it. I must be careful. Please, please. I wish Ralph were alive now. I don't want him to die ever. I want him moving, breathing, talking, alive. Now, forever.
What's happened? What have you done?
I wished him alive again, forever.
But don't you realize he's been embalmed? His veins are filled with embalming fluid burning into him.
I
need to do something. For God's sake, Enid, help me.
No, Enid, don't. You wished him alive forever. You can't kill him. Every piece of him is alive still. Alive and suffering forever.
Well, what did you see? What did he see?
What's more important is what you will see.
Well, who are you? What do you want with us?
To warn you of what may happen.
I don't care about your warnings. I want to get out of here.
Very well, but you should heed the warning.
Mr. Rogers?
Major Rogers. You might show me to my quarters and have something get my kit in, will you? Shane, here. Goodbye. There were pictures on the wall. Where have they gone?
Personal property of your predecessor, sir.
Well, we must get some more. I'll go down to London and have a look around the galleries. Where are the men? The patients?
They've gone to lunch, sir.
You mean dinner, don't you?
Bon appetit, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Harry.
Good morning. My name is Rogers, Major William Rogers. I've been appointed your new superintendent here and take up my duties today. I've had considerable experience in dealing with men as an officer in the army. I promise you I will do this job to the best of my ability. I hope we'll all get along well. If there are any complaints, I shall be pleased to deal with them in my office at any time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Shane. Well, Shane, after I made a few changes, I think we're going to like it here.
Stone cold.
It's always like that now.
All right, old boy. All right. I'll get you an extra blanket.
Yes?
The men have asked me to come and talk to you.
Yes?
It's about the heating. It's been very cold this past few nights. We wondered if you...
For reasons of economy, the heating is now turned off each evening at 2000 hours. You'll all be in bed by then. After all, there's no point in staying up. You can't see anything.
The beds are cold. There aren't enough blankets.
I'm trying to run this place as efficiently and as economically as I can. I'm afraid the current budget does not include the cost of new blankets.
Do you know anything about blind people?
No, I can't say I do until I took over this job. But I was in the army for over 20 years, and I learned to handle all kinds of men there.
With all due respect, sir, we are not soldiers. And blind people are not like people with sight. We have lost one sense, but the loss of that one sense only tends to sharpen the others. Do you know what that means? We feel things more acutely. If food is bad, it tastes worse to us. If a room is dirty, we feel every speck. If an insect scurries across the floor, we hear it. And if it's cold, we feel the cold more. Why don't you sell that painting and buy us fuel or extra blankets?
I was not aware that the administration of expenditure for this establishment had been handed over to you, Mr. Carter. Good morning.
Dishwater. Filthy muck. No meat in it.
Sorry, Dad, there ain't no more.
No second helping?
Well, rations were cut, you see. Superintendent says he's doing the best he can with prices so high.
It's customary to knock on the door of a private office. What do you want? Can't you see I'm having my lunch?
What is it? Nice juicy steak? Well, we get nothing but slop.
Well, I do the best I can for you within the limits of the budget provided for me.
But you eat meat and drink wine?
I am the officer in charge.
This isn't the bloody army.
Mr. Carter, in the kingdom of the blind, even the one-eyed man is king.
Chase!
Shane, stay. Here.
Doctor.
Do you realize it's gone midnight? Doctor. Who wants a doctor?
It's Greenwood, sir.
Well, can't it wait till the morning?
He's ill, sir. Very ill.
Well, I suppose I better take a look. Shane, wait. Blanket. Which one is Greenwood? The man is dead.
Very well.
Shane? 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 What the hell do you think you're doing? Go back to your rooms, all of you.
It's our turn to give the orders now. Major Rogers, sir.
Well, what is it? What do you want? Shane. Shane. All right, boy. All right. All right, boy. What are you doing to my dog? What are you doing with my dog?
Let me go! Let me go! Let me go! Let me go! Let me go!
Your dog seems to be getting hungry, Major Rogers.
Feed him, please. Please feed him.
All in good time.
But you must feed him. He'll be dangerous. He'll go wild, berserk.
I know, Major Rogers, sir.
What are you doing out there?
You'll see soon enough.
Look, give me something to eat, please, please. I haven't had anything to eat or drink for over 2 days. Please, please. Well, at least feed my dog, please.
He'll be fed all right. Major Rogers, sir.
What is all this? I'm on my way to a new job. I don't know why I stopped here.
I do. Now you may go.
How can we... Where are we?
In a place where people go who have died without repentance. You see, I wasn't warning you, but telling you why you are here for all eternity. And now, who's next? Perhaps you?
You enjoyed tonight's horrifying melodrama as much as I did.
I loved
Tales from the Crypt. Good old Amicus horror. That was Amicus, wasn't it?
I believe so.
No? Oh, okay, I got a yes on that.
Good.
You know, they all kind of run together there after a while, but
We have
interesting.
Ralph to confirm. So it's good.
You know, interesting early 70s horror.
Oh, I love it.
There was also the Vault of Horror done.
Yes.
Tom Baker for Doctor Who's in that one.
Yes.
We'll have to get around to that one too as well, because that's another great one that had come out. Of course, The House That Dripped Blood.
I love that.
That's a great movie
It's
too.
a personal favorite.
Uh-huh. Those are good movies to go to sleep to.
Yeah.
If you get to sleep.
Well, depends. It's one of those I watch over and over and over again. So.
There you go. Anyway, Ghoulies, yes, fine entertainment. Lots of things coming up. Remodeled Haunted Forest is in the wings. And, of course, August 6th at the Port. Roosevelt Doll Show. Lilith Lovecraft, are you going to be there doing something?
Of course.
All
I'll
right.
be there doing something. Oh, I always am.
It's going to be a big party. That's what this was going to be.
Oh, awesome.
5600 years of, you know. Anyway. Oh, boy. But anyway, make sure to tune into the Big Top Radio broadcast on AM 1050 WLIP. Midnight to 4 a.m., Monday through Friday, every night. And the Ghoulies that listen to that show, they can't turn it off.
No, anybody who listens is automatically addicted. It's the best show.
I told the
out there.
program director, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're running on Saturday and Sunday ain't cutting it.
Nope. You gotta play us. We're the best.
Mm-hmm.
Quality programming. So tune in.
Quality programming, indeed. The late night. All right, Ghoulies, you have a horrifying week. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 14, Kenosha Community Television. Remember to tune into my program, Just Talkin', shown right here, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Channel 14. On the program, we cover community events, talk to nonprofit organizations, and who knows, we may bump into a celebrity now and then. So remember to tune in to Just Talkin' Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. right here on Channel 14.
You are watching Kenosha Community Television, Channel 14.
On one college campus, 5 students converge on one class.
Oh, this was a class on Poe, not some sort of psych class.
I figured since it's the weekend, we could get started right away.
I'm saying this guy's an ass clown.
Where the hell do you think I'm from?
We don't know. You won't tell us.
Focus, people.
So he buried an axe in her skull. He then does what any sane gentleman would do. Walls her up in the basement. You got something to say, Midnight? On that note, go.
People get away with things all the time, right?
Quiet!
It seems that Dr. Lynch has taken an unexpected and indefinite leave of absence.
Reginald Lynch's body was discovered in a forest on the western edge of the campus grounds.
And Sister Mary says, that's a hard one.
I dismembered the corpse and hid it within the floorboards.